So the nice thing is the wheels fit the way they're supposed to. Looks like the cab will fit the way it's supposed to. And we can put this plate will sit there. The fifth wheel will be back here. So I just laid this one here like that. And looks like it's gonna fit the way it's supposed to. Okay. Now let's get back to building. There, I think the next step is not those. I think the next step is the engine, which I believe fits like that. Those two tabs fitting right there. And then this is going to go there to there. Alright. Welcome to Junkyards and Barn Finds, and this is Model Monday. Known fact is that the 352 Peacemaker, or 352 Pacemaker rather, by Peterbuilt, was introduced in 1969, and the 362, the last cab over made by Peterbilt, was in 2005, I think. It was around 2005, but the reason that they had cab overs is there was a DOT limit to how long a truck and trailer could be, and it was from the bumper of the front of the truck to the end of the trailer, and a cab over gave a lot more, gave, you know, like an extra 6 or 7 feet of trailer. Once those restrictions were removed by DOT, then a lot of people went to the standard cab, which is what you see today. But growing up in the 70s and 80s, I would say the cab overs were pretty much the standard truck you would see on the highway. So part 3 is going to cover step 8, and should cover all of step 9, but it may be most of step 9. We're not sure yet. So that's where we are today, step 8, step 9 on day 4. Because we want to make sure, and we did, all the wheels and axles are where they're supposed to be. And as you can see, the back ones roll and the front ones roll. So they all roll. Front ones do, or back 2 axles roll, these don't. So that is where we are. So, and this is just laying in here for right now. And we got our red rims on the front and chrome on the back. Red center caps. We've got all the air brakes, everything connected on the back. So we are ready to move on. We are up to number 8, putting the engine in the chassis, and then number 9, chassis accessories. So as you can see on here, there's 25 steps in this one, 6 or 10 steps on that one. And the tab right here, I can use it. This. There's a tab right there and a tab here, and then on the engine there is a tab right there and one on the other side, so you can kind of see tab there, tab there. The engine sits directly on those tabs like so. So just like that. Now, drive shaft should fit from the transmission, and this should go to that. So that is, yeah, that's what that should happen. And then the hole for the fan belt will go through the hole there and connect up, so it goes through the frame. So here's hoping everything fits the way it's supposed to fit, and we'll figure out if it does. Let me show you something here. So this goes from so this goes from here to there. It is just a little short. I don't know why it's short. Who knows? But it's short by just a tad. Now, there's a couple things you can do. You can leave it off, which I don't want to. Or what we can do is we heat it up and we stretch it just that little bit. So I think what we'll do is we'll just heat it up a little bit, because it's plastic. So we'll heat this up in the middle, and it'll be the last thing we do after we're done with this thing. Once we have the engine in and everything else, then we'll just heat this up and we will just stretch it just a tad and make it fit. I'll show you how to do that when we do that. On the engine there, and this is the upper radiator hose on the chrome tree, but it's an upper radiator hose. So what are we going to do? We're just going to use our black Sharpie, and we'll color in the hose and leave the chrome fittings on the end. So Sharpies work really well for a lot of stuff, for belts and hoses and stuff. So don't be afraid to just grab a Sharpie and use it, and they come in all kinds of colors. As you can see, I got a whole bunch here. So that's one of the easiest secrets. No mess. And you can just color it in right there. So see, it says upper radiator hose. So we'll make the hose black, and that's it. All right, guys, so one of the things with the mud flaps, there's this little piece here, I think it's in step 7, that goes to the back. And these mud flaps, the easiest way to do this, and that's why I tell you guys to go buy these little magic finger things, which are like $3.99 a piece, because you can set them up here. So like I have this piece here, which instead of me messing with all these on the truck, I can just sit here and glue these onto here, and then take this one piece, glue it on the back. Meanwhile, we've got most of the engine on there. There's a couple pieces, hoses and stuff. We've now put the plate on the back. We've put the fifth wheel on the back. And we just have things like the fuel tanks. We're on step 9 with all the chassis accessories. We're also going to have to build the shifter, which will stay on the chassis when the cab goes up. And you can see underneath there's a hole right there, and that's where the shifter goes up on or stays and goes into the cab when it tilts forward to be worked on. So that's where we're at right now. And one thing with mud flaps, they don't have to be perfect, because most mud flaps don't hang perfectly. But anyway, we'll be back shortly with some more stuff done to the chassis. So right now we've used the Sharpies, so you can use a Sharpie to do the gauges. So we did the gauges, air conditioning ducts, and let's see, we got steering wheel drying right there, and we've got the mud flaps drying. They'll be there for a while. We put the supports for the cab Inner side also kind of fixed. The front so it's more matching instead of coming down to a point. But I'm happy with that, honestly. It's just a fun way. You paint it the way you want, I'll paint it the way I want. And we used the Sharpies for the battery box. We used the silver Sharpie to do the air cleaners. So just do the silver on the air cleaner. So right now we're just kind of in a holding pattern. We did finish the fan and finish the front of the engine. Let me pop this light on here for a second. Right there. So we had the front of the engine. We still have a lot more to go. We're still right there on number 9. And then we have number 9. We have to do all the chassis. We have to do this shifter and everything else. Then number 10, interior windows, as well as the outside of the cab. And we still have, let's see, 10 cab accessories, cab chassis. This was a good time to take my X-Acto knife, and you could see all the holes. Just went through and made sure that none of the paint was blocking any of the holes. So we'll be able to put all the stuff on the cab. So that's where we're at right now. Next we'll have to build the seats. The seats are multiple part. So we'll put those together and finish this interior piece. And what else? Oh yeah, we have all the other pieces of the chassis to do. And like I said, there's the interior and windows. We just painted the air conditioning. Now it says to paint this white, but I painted it red because I like it matching, and it really wouldn't matter. We did use some of the panel line accent black to do the grills, to do the air conditioning duct, to do the radiator. And you can see that where it makes everything look a little bit more standoffish, a little less toy-like. So anyway, that's where we're at, and we will be back shortly. 9, and we've let's see what we did here. We put the oil pump on. We've put the battery box on, along with the luber finer body, which is the chrome thing here. I put the steps on fuel tank, the fuel tank on. We put an air tank behind that, and this is the shift lever bracket right there, which goes into those two holes. So right now we're just letting this dry. Now I'm trying to figure out, do I want to put the cover on the battery box once it's dry or not? I'll figure that out a little later. But that is where we're at. We have the other side, all the tanks and everything on the other side are done. So we have that. We also installed the for the cockpit, for the driver's seat gauge package right there, and dashboard rather. And then somewhere over here, someplace, is the steering column and steering wheel, and I have no idea where it is. I had it. Oh, here it is. So this is being a little pain in the butt to try to get it in there, so I'll work on that a little later. So we are now the morning of day 4, I guess, and we're getting there. We are getting there. Should they subscribe to this channel even if they don't like cars today for this one?
Probably just for this one.